There's been some pretty massive news about the 90 Day Fiancé cast. Two couples just made a huge announcement, and you'll never believe what the news is. Part 1 of the Season 9 tell-all just dropped, and we found out some pretty surprising things, including that not just one, but two couples are expecting a baby. So Kara and Guillermo, as well as Patrick and Thais, are both expecting. And this is actually the first time that we had two pregnancy announcements like this. The timing of it all is just honestly kind of bizarre, and some of this doesn't exactly come as a surprise though, because we actually knew about the pregnancy news before they announced it on the show, or we at least suspected it, especially about Kara and Guillermo. There were a lot of rumors going around about the two of them and about Kara's pregnancy, and there was this one photo of Kara that someone shared recently where she didn't look like herself at all. And I mean, I honestly almost didn't even recognize her, and she clearly put on a little bit of weight, and it showed in the photo. And after that, everyone immediately assumed that she was most likely pregnant. And honestly, we were all thinking that she was just about ready to give birth. At least it looked like it from one of the photos. But, maybe it was just a weird angle or something, but she looked like she could be about 8 months pregnant. But we were wrong, because we now know that both Kara and Thais are due in late November, which means that they are about 6 months pregnant now, and they were both about 16 weeks pregnant when they filmed the tell-all, which I thought was kind of crazy. I mean, think about it for a second. Both Kara and Thais got pregnant around the same time, and how weird is that? And obviously, things like this can happen, but what are the chances? And plus, this means that we'll be getting two 90 Day Fiancé babies this November, and who knows, they could share a birthday, or, they might at least be the same gender. And Patrick and Thais announced that they are expecting a baby girl, but we still don't know about Kara and Guillermo, and since they're still, waiting to find out themselves, they want it to be a surprise. But wouldn't it be funny if they, actually both had a girl around the same time? And this whole thing is already so bizarre, and that would make it even better. And Kara and Guillermo actually announced the pregnancy right before the tell-all, and they said it all happened super fast after they got married, but that they were really excited about the future. And they also thanked everyone for being part of their journey and shared a photo from a maternity shoot where you could see them together holding a sonogram, and Kara and Guillermo seem really happy and excited, and they clearly can't wait to start their own family. And I mean, they've been through a lot to get here, which we got to see on the show, and they were moving around a lot, and they went to the US, then to Venezuela, then back to the US again, and then they had all these travel restrictions to deal with and everything, and plus they definitely had a lot of relationship problems, and it wasn't exactly easy. But they did get married in July last year, and now they're starting their own family, and so it really seems like things turned out well for them. And they even confirmed during the tell-all, Kara said that she and Guillermo were doing really good nowadays. She admitted that it wasn't like that every day, and there were still days that were more difficult, but they also had days that were really, really good. And Guillermo agreed with Kara, and he said that they were still working on so many things. Their relationship isn't perfect, and they still have a lot they need to work on, especially with a new baby coming later this year, but they seem determined to keep working on it. And Patrick and Thais made a similar announcement about their pregnancy. They shared a photo of the two of them with a sonogram and their puppy, and the one that Thais got from Patrick when she moved from the States to Brazil. And Patrick and Thais said that they couldn't wait to be parents, and that they were grateful to have the love and support of everyone that's been part of their journey. And like I said, their announcement was pretty similar to what Kara and Guillermo said, and even down to the photo with the sonogram. And just like Kara and Guillermo, Patrick and Thais haven't exactly had the easiest journey in their relationship. I mean, for a while, it looked like they might not even get married, and Thais was, seriously considering moving back to Brazil because Patrick just became so controlling after she moved to the US, but she decided to stay with him anyway, and they got their marriage license and everything. And one of the biggest issues in their relationship was Thais' dad, who did not approve of Patrick or their relationship, and they kept the whole thing a secret from him for the longest time. And when they finally told him, he didn't like it at all, and he basically told them that they didn't have his blessing and that he wanted Thais to come back home. And I mean, he got over it eventually, at least kind of, I guess, but he accepted it. It was Thais' choice at the end of the day. But during the tell-all, Patrick and Thais revealed that a lot has changed since we last saw them on our screens. And I'm not just talking about the obvious here. Yes, Thais is pregnant, but they've actually been going through some even more changes than that. And Patrick announced that they no longer lived in Dallas. They actually moved to Vegas, where they're now starting a whole new life together. But they also opened up, about the more difficult things they've been going through, because Patrick, used to use steroids. They didn't think they could just actually get pregnant. and they just didn't believe it was possible. But it did happen, and it was super emotional for the two of them, and Tai said it was the first thing that she felt was a surprise, and she was scared and afraid, but it seems like they're both feeling much better now, and they're really excited for what's to come. And when it was announced during the tell-all that there were two couples expecting, the cast made a couple of jokes about, being Emily and Kobe again, since they already have two kids together, but they said it wasn't them, and they later gave an update on their family. And they said that they had their second child, a little girl named Scarlett, and Emily said that she was wonderful, and then she was explaining, what their family looks like now, and apparently Kobe is working while Emily is a stay-at-home mom, and they have two really young kids at this point, so it's a lot of work, which is why she stays at home, taking care of them, and honestly, everyone seems to be having babies in the cast. Like I said, this is actually the first time ever that the show had two couples announcing their pregnancy during the tell-all at the same time, and plus, there were some rumors about Ari and Biniyam potentially expecting as well, and it seems kind of unlikely since they haven't announced anything, but then again, maybe they're hiding it for some reason, and if Ari was pregnant, then that would mean that, there were 3 people expecting from this season, which would just be insane. But what do you guys think? Did you watch the tell-all, and what do you think about the pregnancy announcements? Let me know in the comments, and guys, like always, do me a huge favor, that like, follow, share, subscribe button, and y'all better stay tuned for many more videos.